Hello everyone, my name is Mirko, and in today's video I'm going to be speaking about the top 5 reasons why you watching this video are going down in Apex Legends. This video is designed to help everyone avoid going down more often, and without further ado guys, let's not waste any more time and let's start jumping into the first reason why you keep going down in Apex Legends. Now the first reason we're going to be speaking about is that you're not making enough use of the cover around you. Now if we take a look at this example here, this small bit of cover actually helped me 1 vs 3 clutch this situation, and as you guys saw, I take the 2 guys out fairly easily, but the 3rd guy starts shooting at me, and I know if I'm being shot at first before putting bullets into the enemy, I'm at a huge disadvantage and I don't want to engage. So my natural instinct is to go straight to cover and then re-engage with a gunfight when it's an even playing field and I'm not being dealt damage first. This is a big problem I see a lot of people do. They start engaging in gunfights even after they're being the one that's being shot at first. They still like to engage with gunfights, but the problem here is when an enemy's shooting towards the side of you, by the time you actually move to where the enemy is, line up your shots with the enemy and then start shooting at the enemy, they probably would have dealt about 150, 170 damage into you. So the easiest thing to do is run to cover. You will take a little bit of damage running to the cover, but you will take far less damage than if you were engaging with the gunfight and being at a huge disadvantage. So go to cover and then pull yourself back out again when it's an even playing field and be the first one to land a shot into the enemy. Don't let the enemy be the first one to land a shot into you. The key tip here is make use of the cover around you and always be aware of your surroundings. Even if it's a very small bit of cover, that is better than no cover at all, and you want to make use of that. Now moving on to the second tip why you keep going down in Apex Legends. We spoke about it in the first tip. It's actually building up a retreat instinct. Now a retreat instinct is essentially retreating from a gunfight as quickly as possible and naturally adapting to that sort of play style. So if we take a look at this example here on top of these 2 buildings, we can see that as soon as I'm being shot at, I will naturally retreat straight away. I'm not in a position where I'm forced into a gunfight, so as soon as I was shot at, I naturally retreated straight away without thinking about it or without continuing on with the gunfight, seeing how it goes. You don't want to keep engaging as soon as you've been shot at, because why should you do that? Why should you be at risk of going down when you can quickly get to cover and then start re-engaging with the enemy when either the enemy isn't paying attention to you or you've landed more shots into the enemy to then have a less risk factor of going down. If we take a look at another example here, I can see the enemy is using the charge rifle, so I completely disengage before the enemy has a chance to land the shot, and I then re-engage from a different angle of cover. In this situation, I'm picking and choosing when I want to engage in a gunfight and when I don't want to engage in a gunfight, and I survived this whole situation because I maintained control, and well, unfortunately my teammate has to watch a few more of my videos. So the third reason why you keep going down in Apex Legends is because you're being pushed by enemies. So there are a few ways to stop enemies from pushing you. The first way is to throw a few grenades before you start healing up, and whilst the grenades are active, that's when you want to heal up. It will give you a few more seconds of breathing space. And if we go back to the same location, as you guys can see in this example, as soon as I was shot at, I didn't heal up straight away because the enemy still wanted a piece of me. So I threw a thermite grenade and then started to heal up. The thermite grenade happened to be dealing damage into the enemy, so the enemy obviously went to cover to heal up himself. So you want to be using grenades very effectively and always throw them before you start healing up. That's if the enemies are about to push you. If your teammates seem to have control of the situation, then you can save your grenades, but most of the time when enemies have landed a chunk of bullets into you, they will want to push you. So you either want to throw grenades back at them or fire a few shots even if it lands nowhere near them, as this makes the enemies more wary and it makes them think that you're still wanting to engage in a gunfight even if you're not. Now the grenades or the bullets don't necessarily need to deal damage into the enemy, because as long as they are hearing the grenades going off and they're hearing the gunshots, they will be more wary naturally to push someone. So using them grenades, and even the grenades doing the whole effect of blowing up, that's going to make the enemy more cautious and wary, and that is better than doing absolutely nothing and just healing up and hoping enemies don't push you. So the fourth reason why you keep going down in Apex Legends is because you're not approaching enemies with height. Now I recently made a video on how to approach enemies in Apex Legends, so if you haven't watched it, be sure to watch it, and the video explains how you need to approach enemies with height. So every time you hear gunshots going off, look at your surroundings and approach that gunfight with a height advantage. advantage. You have that true advantage of knowing where the enemies are without them knowing where you are. So approach that and third party it with a height advantage. You will almost every single time come out on top, because we all know the benefits of having a height advantage. The first benefit is that you can retreat more easier when you have a height advantage. The second benefit is that the enemy is more exposed than you are, and the list goes on and on. And as you guys can see in this example, I approached this gunfight with a height advantage. Luckily I was using Pathfinder, and I literally picked off the 2 easiest kills throughout this whole game. The next time you hear gunshots in Apex Legends, be sure you're approaching the gunfight with a height advantage, and the gunfight is going to go almost your way every single time. So moving on to the last reason why you keep going down in Apex Legends, believe it or not, it's actually your Legends choice. Now I'm not going to sit here and bash all kinds of Legends, because every Legend is unique to itself, but there are some Legends in particular that I believe outshine from others, and that is Pathfinder and Wraith. I believe Pathfinder and Wraith have the best mechanics for escaping gunfights and also pushing gunfights as well. You can use Pathfinder's grapple to push gunfights easier, and you can also use Wraith's tactical ability to ensure that you push without taking any damage. And that is also the same when you're trying to retreat from a gunfight. You can use both of their tactical abilities to ensure that you retreat almost harm-free. That's why I believe these 2 are the best Legends if you want to push more enemies, or if you want to get more kills overall in Apex Legends. As I said, I'm not bashing the other Legends. Other Legends are good for different play styles, but if you feel like you keep going down more often, then give Wraith a go. Wraith is probably the best Legend if you really want to retreat from gunfights and push gunfights, and try Pathfinder as well. Other Legends such as Gibraltar don't really offer too much in terms of mechanics, so I would stick with these 2 Legends, and maybe even Octane, Bloodhound as well with his ultimate ability. So give the other Legends a chance if you're using the same Legend each time, and you might be able to improve not only your playstyle, but you can avoid going down more often. So that's going to wrap up the top 5 reasons why you keep going down in Apex Legends. If you made the video this far, thank you for taking time in watching this video. Be sure you're dropping a like down below, and be sure you're subscribing to the channel if you're currently not subscribed. This supports the channel further, and it is much appreciated. As always, my name's been Mirko. Enjoy the rest of your day, and I'll catch all of you guys out in another brand new Apex Legends video.